All right, you beautiful bastions of freedom, it is time. The time that we have come together is now, or yeah, whatever. Terrible intro. It doesn't matter. You're going to love this video either way because this is our live time every night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The show that I have accumulated with my tabs of freedom over here for you is going to be one for the ages. You're going to love every second of it because I swear to you, I don't lie. I link everything in the description box below. The dim governors just huddled together and they were like, uh-oh, we got a situation. We should probably say something. You're going to love every second of it along with the rest of the tabs of freedom that I have collected for your enjoyment. All right, listen, people. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, of course, comments, chats, emojis. Make the world go round, per usual. Let's get right into this once the audio and video is confirmed to be solid. Looks like you guys are filtering in. That is amazing. Let's get it. Man, I've already got planes. I love to see it. Excellent, guys. Got the notification. I must be lucky today. All right. The obligatory comments, emojis, chats make the world go round. All right, it's in, and you guys know the rules. If I pin this, by the time that I pin it, it is already time to rocket into this live stream. All right, listen, guys. We are going to have a great one. Everything is pinned. Audio's good. Video's good. We've got Dems. We've got governors. We got AP. We've got Supreme Court. We've got it all for you right now. And please, I hope you enjoy this and engage in this system because every time that you do, it literally makes it go further and does the notification jobs for it. So, as usual, my beautiful patriots across the fruited plain, we are going to talk about something. I love talking about this stuff. Love it. It's like my sports, as I like to say. And one of my favorite things to do is to take the Democrat narrative and the media's lies, which sometimes are the exact same, backhand them, repurpose them, give them more views in the population, and counteract the propaganda. It's one of my favorite things. I mean, you could put it in a few of my favorite things from Julie Andrews. It's that important to me. All right, listen, and this is the first example. Remember that whole gas thing? What was that guy's name before Trump? Oh my goodness gracious. It rhymed with Schmeiden. Oh yeah, his name was Biden. Remember how everything was peachy keen according to the Democrats? Yeah, watch this. CNN is forced to admit that, oh my God, gas prices are like 60% of what they were under the Bidester. Man, I tell you what, let's go.
Is the price of gasoline. Look at this, a fresh 4.5-year low, 3.5-year low of $2.95 a gallon as of today. That is miles away from the all-time high set back in 2022 under former President Biden, above $5 a gallon, and it is lower, although only a little bit lower than at this point last year. Now, is the price of gasoline. Look at this, a fresh 4.5.
Sorry, I was mid-type right when he started looping over. Well, isn't that weird, guys? I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, who was president in June of 2022? Yeah, pretty sure the empty suit short-circuiting wonder was. Yeah, 502 a gallon. That was awesome. And now $2.95 a gallon. I can't imagine what the differences are and why CNN would have to tell you. Pause for dramatic effect. Okay, let's keep on going. And someone just asked me what happened in Miami with the mayor's race. I don't know yet. I got to dive into it. It just broke while I was preparing this. That is on another video upcoming. But we're going to keep on going because something else is crucial and you have to understand this. Guys, one of the big things that we struggle with in saving the country, you know, the whole goal of this channel, saving the country, spreading out information, dispelling propaganda, providing sources, receipts in the comment, in the description box. One of the whole points is to show you the macro problems and go after the macro problems. We're going to talk about the micro problems all day long, but the macro problems are where we focus. Because if we hyper-focus on those macro problems and go after things like, say, the deep state or the bureaucratic state, you're going to solve the problem rather than just focusing on the symptom. That's the whole point. And so what I'm about to show you is all about the bureaucratic deep state. And I just want to show you something that Justice Kavanaugh said yesterday. This is just a small snippet, but I want you to listen to the words of one of the junior justices in the SCOTUS. Listen to this, and we'll come back on the other side. Just a short clip.
And agencies are not accountable to the people. They're not elected. as Congress and the president are, and are exercising massive power over individual liberty and billion-dollar industries, whether it's the FCC or the FTC or whatever.
Okay. I'm just going to reread something for that real quick. They're not elected as Congress and the president are exercising massive power over individual liberty and billion-dollar industries. Well, individual liberty would cover things like 2A rights, would cover things like the border, would cover things like freedom of speech. You know, that first one, that little chestnut. All of these things are being usurped by the executive branch in these like 3-letter agencies. Okay, we saw this in the Biden administration all the time. He could not go through Congress because no one liked him and he was a short-circuiting robot. And then on the other side of that, Congress would have laws and the bureaucratic state would just interpret the laws as they wanted and saw fit, and they would turn the levers of power using the bureaucracies in order to achieve their means, because the entire presidency was basically one big executive bureaucratic morass or overreach. That was the entire thing. Okay? It's so important to understand that the bureaucracies in the swamp and all of the deep state crap, it's all coming from non-elected people who are not elected like Congress or the president. And the entire case of which we talked about earlier today was all based on the fact that the president could or could not fire executive bureaucrats. These people aren't accountable to anybody, but the president can't get rid of them, says the left. Do you see the problem? The problem is there's no accountability. You get rid of that bureaucratic BS, all of a sudden you have accountability. Accountability is what everyone's chasing. All right, that was just a touch point. I got a super chat over here. I got a super chat from EHEF4868. Vote Brandon Herrera, then make him the ATF head. It would be funny. That would be funny. I'm going to be candid with you. That would be comical because he would have a hell of a time with that one. All right, those are just the appetizer. I want to show you one of the main reasons you guys came here. One of the things that I pride myself on, and if you are young, if you know someone young, if you are new to this, if you're one of the new 100,000, 110,000 subscribers we've had in the last 2 or 3 months, you have to understand something very key and important. The truth is always right there for you to find. You just have to look for it. And a big place not to look for it is what the media is telling you, and to listen and read into actually what people are saying and then supporting it with actual numbers, which is what I try to do for you on this channel every single long form or live stream. We're about to do that right now because they would tell you on the left and the media that everything is hunky-dory. In fact, I heard that the left was the new hotness and no one liked Trump and everyone hated Republicans and everything was just awful. I mean, if you're a Republican, but if you're a Team D, oh man, everyone loves you. There's not a thing wrong. You're incredible. You didn't just get completely backhanded for the last election in the House, the Senate, and the White House, and you didn't just get smoked with the worst approval of any Democratic brand like ever. None of those things happened, and it was only like 10 months ago. Well, until the governors get together and they have a conversation, and you have to actually be a little realistic in order to win, because they know something's coming. And they say it in an AP article right here. Again, all you got to do is look. This is so important. Please spread this stuff out. Not the cat. Please spread this stuff out. This is essential for you to understand. Hit that the emojis, comments, and chats, and we will keep on going. This all hinges on you guys. No pressure, but I mean, just saying. All right. This is the AP article. It's linked in the description box below. Democratic governors say the party's midterm strategy must focus on voters' pocketbook concerns. Well, that is not news. Braden, why are you telling me about that? You've been telling me about that for 4 weeks. I know I have. That's just the title. Let's get into this. Watch. Please send this out. Well, I got to make sure everything's good and hunky-dory in the chat world over here. Okay, cool. All right, listen. I've got 2 different color highlights here for you. I got yellow, which is important, and I got red, which is, oh shit. Okay, that's what that means. When we get to red, we're in the oh shit area. Okay, Phoenix, Arizona. Democratic governors met this weekend in Arizona looking to parlay last month's big victories for the party in New Jersey and Virginia into campaigns for next year's midterms, when a majority of governors' seats will be up for election. So just to set this table, if you missed this, this is the Democratic governors all getting together about how they're going to be Democratic governors and set the priorities for Democratic governors going forward. Okay, that's what this is. Those elections helped Democrats zero in on what they see as strategy to help grow their ranks in office and recover from big losses in 2024. Hey, look, red. What's that mean? Oh shit. Quote from Andy Beshear. This is the governor of Kentucky. Everybody wants the economy of tomorrow, but paying the bills today is absolutely critical. You know what that means in translated speak? That means you can't go down this Green New Deal economy crap. You can't go down this high level of spending and all these different social programs because everyone's got to pay their bills. You got to be realistic. That's what that means. Paying our bills today is critical. It's undermining all of the Democratic, all the left, all the progressive, all the Green New Deal scam stuff. That's what that is. These are all the governors. Okay, look, more red. Yes, we can judge a president, and we should judge this president, Beshear said, but we never judge those voters. Hold the phone. Come here. Can somebody tell me in the chat how many mainline political commentators, mainline media outlets, mainline Democrats, mainline politicians on the left all bashed anybody and everybody who would dare vote for Trump because we are enabling fascism and we're enabling Nazism and we are racist by default? We are homophobes by default. Like, just insert insult here. Does anybody remember those things? Because that was the left's mantra. Shame everyone away from voting the way they want to vote, right? Again, emojis and chats. Let's get over here. So all of a sudden, Andy Beshear says we can't forego the bills of today for concerns of tomorrow, which is the Green New Deal and the infrastructure stuff that the left wanted to do. And then he also says, well, we also can't just judge other people who voted for the president, but we can judge the president. So just so you know, Andy Beshear is the guy who's leading this committee, the entire governor's organization. He just got elected. Are you seeing a pattern? Because if you've watched the other videos that we've done, you know that the Senate campaigns and the Senate leaders have already gone around and said, we're going to have to drop some of the far left woke stuff. You already know that this right here with what's his face, Andy Beshear, in the governor's election and governor's committees, they're saying drop the woke crap, drop the green crap. They've got to talk about reality stuff. This is the woke versus moderate fight that's happening right now. Okay? Let's keep on going. Again, we got some more yellow and we got some more red. This is really important stuff, guys. Heading into a primary season in which factions will battle over the future of the party. Where did we hear that before? Democratic governors largely sang from the same sheet over the weekend. A dozen candidates and sitting governors all said they plan to talk extensively about cost of housing, childcare, utilities, and groceries during Trump's second term. That is about to backfire royally, and I'm going to show you why in a second. They even say it in this article. This is the biggest bet and gamble that they've ever taken, because what can change on a dime? Economic conditions. It can go really great. It can go really bad. There's a reason the phrase, it's the economy stupid, exists in politics, because it's all about the economy. Anytime, always. It doesn't matter. All that woke stuff, all the defund the police, they try to basically put that in the closet because they wanted to focus on affordability in the economy. They're going back to economic roots, effectively, okay? I got some more red coming up after some yellow. The affordability strategy isn't without risk. Yeah, the risk I'm going to show you in a second. Economic conditions could change, making concerns about prices less salient or urgent, which would be real uncomfortable if they made their entire pitch around affordability and then the entire thing got better and then they got to switch to what? Exactly. They're putting themselves in a box that can easily be collapsed upon themselves. And Democrats could be setting themselves up for disappointment down the road if they win in 2026, but are unable to bring down costs to voter satisfactions, allowing Republicans to capitalize on the same buyer's remorse Democrats are now seeking to stoke. This is the whole point. Like, literally, I don't know what they did at the AP, but they took like water pills or something crazy, and they're talking truth. It's weird. Look, more red. For Democratic incumbents seeking re-election, they can't rest on fighting the Trump administration, said two-term Democratic Governor Michelle Juan Grisham of New Mexico. By the way, I despise that woman. This is the woman that banned the Second Amendment in a major city. So they need to show results. Well, hold on a second. I thought the whole thing was fight fascism, fight Nazism, fight Trump. For the last 10 years, all it's been is we don't need a policy position. Our policy positions fight Trump. Now, all of a sudden, they're saying get rid of the future green spending, get rid of the future spending for current spending. Make sure you aren't judging the actual voters who voted for Trump, just judge Trump. And now they're saying you can't just rest on fighting Trump and you've got to actually show results. Y'all, are you seeing what this is? Because what this is the governor saying you can't do this woke crap. You've got to change something. That's what you're watching. Okay, let's keep on going. At the end here is when they show you what they're really afraid of, by the way. All right, guys, excuse me, do not encourage super chats. That was my fault. If you want to do it, do it. I meant chats. Chats, comments, emojis. That is what makes this world go round. Let's keep on going. Deliver for me, but don't forget to fight this, said Luan Grisham, who is barred by term limits from seeking re-election. They do want both, and finding ways to cross-cut those and marry that, I think, is going to be a winning set of messages. Same thing. You've got to actually deliver something. Again, guys, we're about to get real fun. Just bear with me because more red's coming in. That's the payoff. So after the New Jersey and Virginia elections last month, the White House began shifting its message to focus more on affordability, just like we told you was happening. Just like we had a conversation. They are switching. They are pivoting in the White House. It is actively happening. I'm going to show you more in a second. Okay? The battle is moving to the affordability front. All right, that's why J.D. Vance was like, it's comical because the Democrats put us in the position. The White House is going, yeah, we need more affordability. Here's all the ways we're doing it. I'm telling you. And it sets up the road for this collapse of their entire narrative. Let's keep going. Trump, who has not done much domestic travel during his second term, is scheduled to visit Pennsylvania on Tuesday to highlight his efforts to reduce inflation, which I'm about to show you something from that. The president has talked more about affordability recently, and he reduced tariffs on beef and other commodities that consumers say cost too much. I don't care about that part. And right here. Red. What's that mean? Oh, shit. Democratic governors and candidates were largely aligned in the conclusion that many voters in 2024 didn't feel as if their party was focused on their concerns or shared their anger at a system they believe is failing average Americans. I think if there was any failure in the presidential election, it's we forgot what real people care about, said Oregon Governor Tina Kotek. We've got to listen to people, said Keisha Lance Bottoms. Y'all, are you seeing this? Again, I'm going to get to the real fun part here right there in 1 second. You have to understand what's happening. The moderate power structure is coming in swinging at the governor level. They're coming in swinging at the senator level. They are missing out on the progressive nominee portion of the Democrat Party, which is going to push it further to the left, i.e. Jasmine Crockett, okay, i.e. Graham Plattner in Maine. All of these candidates that the far left progressives are demanding are going to sink them in defiance of this right here. Okay, again, all of these things are really, really important. If we don't flip before the end of the decade, there won't be Democratic control of Congress or of the White House because the math doesn't work. Now, what does she mean there? Let me read this top part right here. I did this in order for a reason. I just posted about this on my X account, at Braden LOA, by the way, if you want to follow. Gina Hinojosa, Gina. A Texas lawmaker running for governor in the nation's second most populous state is making the case to Democratic donors that investing in Texas will be crucial to her party's hopes of winning power in Washington before the 2030 census. Her state is projected to pick up at least 4 House seats and electoral college votes at the expense of blue states such as California and Illinois. Ding, ding, ding. Listen to me. Hear me on this. Please, for the love of God, confirm in the comments in the chats. What you are dealing with is a long-term victory that is coming down the path so rapidly that the Democrats even know it so personally that they are ordering their other governors to start campaigning to the middle because they know that in 2030 the far left is going to lose votes in the House and not in the Senate, it's always set, in the House and the Electoral College because they had so many people leave and flee their blue states during the COVID debacle. So now you have more people in the red states that have House seats or House availabilities to match the population per the census requirements starting in 2030. And then you also have electoral college votes, which are going to red states from blue states. You are taking from blue and you are giving to red. You have to understand the fight, when I say we are winning, is macro based. We are winning macro based because they are openly saying in AP articles that if we don't win at all before 2030, it's going to be a generational loss for Democrats. Yes, it is, which is why we are taking the proverbial throttle and pushing it to the freaking floor. They know what's coming. You know what's coming. We both talk about what's coming. So now we're going to vote like we're losing. We're going to grind like we're losing. And we're going to bury this all the way in the dustbin of history. Because honest to God, in 4 years, 4 years from now, you're going to have the first election after a census. And we're going to be right here doing it. You and I are going to be talking about it. And it's going to be incredible to watch the left lose their minds because guess what? If you move those type of electoral college votes around and the House around, they can't really take the House again easily, and they don't have the blue wall in the Rust Belt anymore. It doesn't exist. It's a seismic shift because the population moved away from all of their blue bullcrap. That's where you're at right this second. That's what they're talking about. You've got to moderate. You can't judge people. You can't do the Green New Deal. You can't do insane spending. You got to pay your bills now. You got to be nice to people. And you got to get people on your side because, oh my God, winter's coming in 2030. Yo, do I need to read it again? It's right there. They're openly saying it. But what's our media do? What do our right-wing talking heads do? Well, we're fighting because of this reason, and we're fighting because of this reason, and I'm pissed about this, and I'm going to be mad at this person. Seriously? You have the Democrats out here freaking losing their minds because they are going to lose all power in 2030 because of census reallocation due to population shifts away from all of this, and all we can do is fight about who's mean and who's not? Good God. Sorry, that's a tangent I have right now. I apologize. It's the utmost stupidity. Anyway. Don't worry, I'll be right here providing you everything they're not. And I am not afraid to say it. All right, super chat. Dude, 3291683. $2 says, what? Let's procreate Dems like they use American... Procreate Dems like they use American people? Question mark. I don't know what that means, dude, but I'm here for it. I appreciate the super chat. Another super chat, $4.99 from IDHAYT. Why'd you make me super chat? You basically commanded it. Love you uncomfortably, as is part of the sign off on this channel. Thank you very much. I super chat at least once a month because you keep me informed. Well, thank you very much. You get a heart, and so does all the other people. All the other people get hearts too, and the emojis in the chats. Thank you very much for your super chat. You guys are incredibly generous. Like, I that is not an expectation. That is something that is. I view it as a tip, and that is it. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. I put these shows together for you guys and honestly for the overall mission. So, all right, let's keep on going. We have got so much more free. God, guys, look at that. Tabs on tabs on tabs. Man, we're just getting going. What do I have on this tab? Let's take an adventure. Oh, look. Speaking of going to the left and screwing everything up. So, you know what? We're just gonna freewheel here, guys. We're in a relationship. I give you guys watch. It's great. So for some reason, in all of the growth that we've had in the last 3-4 months, I've wandered into the sphere where lefties start noticing, and they started jumping into the chats, and they started posting me on X some very odd things. But it's always fun when we get to poke at them a little bit because someone said. Someone said on the progressive side that no one's ever seen a strategy before, like just ignoring the entire population of voting because you just want to. And I said, that's true. That's true because there's a reason, because it doesn't work. But here's Jasmine Crockett. And this is a perfect example in contrast of what I just showed you on that AP article. Okay? She's on her second day as the Senate possibility or candidate. She's on CNN having to explain why she called all Latinos slaves. That's awesome. All right, before I play that, I got a super chat right here. Matrix with a $20 super chat. Braden, could you look at Rebel News Cam Luke's documentary? It's a billion-dollar leftist scam coming to the U.S. from Canada. I will certainly look for it. You get a heart. Thank you for the tip. I'll look into that. All right. Jasmine Crockett, people, I do it because I love you. It's not because I hate you, but we got to listen. All right. listen to Jake Tapper be like, so, about slaves. All right, watch this.
Let me ask you about a quote that you've made that has some Democrats worried about your ability to win statewide.
No,
In a December
stop it.
2024 Vanity Fair profile, you talked about, quote, and I'm going to read a lot of the quote just to put it in the context, quote, all the complexities within the Latino community. The immigration thing has always been something that has perplexed me about this community. It's basically like, I fought to get here, but I left y'all where I left y'all, and I want no more y'all to come here. If I wanted to be with y'all, I would stay with y'all, but I don't want y'all coming to my new home. It almost reminds me of what people would talk about when they would talk about kind of like slave mentality and the hate that some slaves would have for themselves. It's almost like a slave mentality that they have. Now, about the time that that was published last year, around 1 million Latino voters in Texas were voting for Trump. Do they all have slave mentality?
No, and that's not what that said at all, to be clear.
Really? That's not what it said? Oh, man, this is going to be a great primary season. And here's why I say it. Because you got to look at this pragmatically and politically. Yeah, come here. Get enough of Jasmine for a second. Get her face. Get the mental image. Okay, let's go. Here's the thing. Jasmine Crockett is going to be one of two things. She's either going to be the Senate primary candidate, which is then going to go to the general electorate and get absolutely obliterated. And they all know it too. And then there's the other option of the other guy wins, he still gets obliterated, and then she goes away forever. I'm going to be honest, I'm all for win-wins. And I would fully think that I'm in appreciation for Jasmine Crockett for providing these two amazing alternatives, because there's not really another one. But let's get into something else for a second. Let me wrap her. You know what? It doesn't matter. I don't want to listen to her again. It's my show, dang it. You can't tell me what to do. All right, here we go. This is what you have to understand. And this is some inside baseball. Let me hear you in the comments, the chats, the emojis, all the engagement, guys, makes this go round, okay? So what they're not telling you is that this is not about Jasmine Crockett. Don't tell Jazzy. She thinks it is. It's not about Jasmine Crockett, okay? The reason that the mainline Democrats are freaking out is twofold. One, they are worried crapless that Jazzy is going to lose badly. They kind of know it. We all know it. Cool, great, awesome. But then there's the other reason, and the other reason is the real important one. So the way that this works is you have to look at this nationally from the DNC's perspective, or the RNC, either one. They're the national organizations for each party, okay? If you have races that are across the entire United States and the Democrats are set and hell-bent on taking back the Senate, okay? Jasmine Crockett's running for the Senate. Yeah, I know. She's running for the Senate, along with everybody else who's running for the Senate. The DNC doesn't have any money. So for the DNC to not have money and then have to basically work to spread that money elsewhere and then fight the Republicans who now have all of their money freed up because Jasmine Crockett doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell, the RNC's money doesn't need to go to a Paxton or to a Hunt. It's not going to be Cornyn. To a Paxton or to a Hunt, because they're not worried about a Jasmine Crockett because she's completely off-putting and everyone knows it. So they put that money in a state like Maine, where Graham Plattner is going to be vulnerable to Susan Collins, and that rhino is going to get all that money that was going to go to the Texas Republican. You have to understand how this works. Jasmine Crockett's actions are going to have ramifications across the entire Senate field. And that's before we go local. The other piece to that is all the money that's going to go into the local races, because Jasmine Crockett does not motivate tons and tons and tons of people to go out and vote. She motivates tons and tons and tons of people to go out and vote against her. So all those Republicans who are going to go out against her in a Trump plus 14 state, they're going to also vote down ballot, most likely Republican, which is going to make their hold in the Democrat House and Senate even worse. You have to understand the reason that they're pushing back so hard on this is because it's going to affect the DNC, not just Jazzy. And that's the whole point. I personally welcome her to run. I want her to run. I want her to get the primary. I want her to just believe that the JC crew is going to do it, and everyone believes it too. And then when the electorate comes, or the election comes around, it's going to be like, oh my God, it's like Beto, but worse. Yep. And that's why it's important. All right, let's keep on going. We're going to keep on banging this drum. Emojis, chats, comments. Thank you, guys. We were about to break 2,000 concurrent viewers, and we are not even halfway done. Guys, this hinges on you spreading this out. Okay, what's the next tab? Breaking. Trans military ban upheld. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and skip the next one. I honestly don't know how I sneak into that one with YouTube. But you saw it. It wasn't me. It was a post. All right, now is the really fun part. I can't read some of those, guys. All right. This one is just for funsies. Because you know what? We have fun on this stream. We have a lot of entertainment. We try to make politics entertaining. And it's something that hopefully you can share with those that you hold dearest to you. And a lot of the feedback has been making politics basically tolerable. which, hey, that's good. All right, here we go. I tell you what, this is weird. Y'all, is this thing on? Yeah, it's on. It's weird because I could have sworn that all the hubbub was that Trump was like the most popular president in the whole wide world. The whole wide world. Everybody hates him. We might as well go eat dirt. I tell you what. You know, it's the weirdest thing when Real Clear Politics posts an aggregate of all the approval polls and then shows that Trump's above Obama and Bush at the exact same time in his second term. Man, I tell you what, the media didn't tell you that, did they? That is weird. That is bizarre. Not only above him, like 3 points above him. Man, I don't recall Democrats or the media being real upset with Obama's polling numbers back then, do you? You guys were alive then, right? I'll tell you, like, the wonders never cease. It's really something. Anyway, maybe that's just a drop in the bucket. Maybe it's something crazy. Maybe it's a one-off. It's not. Hey, look at that setup. Look at this, guys. Man, I tell you what. All right. There seems to be something happening. Will it continue or hold? Well, let's just look at what they're talking about. Hey, look, it's another Real Clear Politics average poll. You see this? The disapproval number is the red one. It's going down. The approval number is going up. Huh. That's weird. Make sure it's the same on this screen. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, maybe the next slide will be something different. Maybe offer a little contrast. Add a little, yeah, no, it's the same. Oh my God, it's the congressional vote. Would you look at that? The same time the Republicans are going up, Donald Trump is going up. And the same time the Democrats are going down, his disapproval's going down. How could that be? I'm just gonna show you one more thing over here. I really find these things fascinating that he was above Obama. That's Pause for dramatic effect again. Maybe I need to zoom in. Maybe I'm missing something. Well, nope, still kicking the crap out of him. All right, I'm telling you guys, they are overtly propagandizing you. This was, it's wild. It is absolutely wild, the amount of propaganda. Anyway, let's keep on going because remember, his numbers are going up. The Republicans are going up. Disapproval's going down. The Dems are going down. And then this is the reason freaking why. It's because they pivoted. All right. They're pivoting from the White House directly to affordability, and they're showing numbers that actually matter. It's incredible to see. Because honest to God, if your wages are going up, your costs are going down, it's kind of hard not to say, well, that sounds like a good direction. All right, and last night I already showed you guys 2.2 million illegals are out of the country, which drives down consumption considerably, which had effects in groceries, rent, gas, and I can't remember the other one. There's another one. It's oil, gas, housing, grocery. Yeah, you'll figure it out. It's incredible. Oh, cars. That's what it is. All right, so listen to this. This is what's resonating. And I'm going to be real candid with you guys for a second because I will always bring you the truth that as I see it, and I'll let you make up your own mind. Everything is linked in the description box below because honestly, there needs to be a lot more sources across the entire board. Everything's sourced. You can look at all of it. This right here is what resonates with people. You know how I said that you have to not only do the affordability, you not only have to lower the prices, people have to feel it, because we're not robots. You got to feel a little bit. Watch a first responder talk about what's going to happen when he doesn't have tax on tips. Listen, his own words. This is a first responder. The next one's a single mother. All of these things are the people who are more vulnerable to this currency or current economic conditions. Watch.
And I'm happy to do it. But the hours could take a toll. But knowing now that this work isn't going to be taxed, well, that really goes a long way. Congressman Bresnahan helped pass the historic legislation President Trump signed that is going to put more money in the pockets of working families and first responders like me.
No tax on tips and no tax on overtime is going to be an economic boom like you've never seen before. And here's why I know. And you guys can jump off in the chats, in the comments. This is an important part for you guys to interact with and share this out. How many of you, and I'm going to share my own personal experience in a second, how many of you have worked overtime, your fingers to the bone? I'm willing to bet a lot of you, because a lot of you are very conservative and a lot of you believe in hard work and our country. So, how many of you have worked consistent overtime at some point in your life or currently because you have to give in more work and you have to work harder to provide for your family because it is the responsibility and it is the requirement of men and women of this nation? Okay? That's the way we all view it. We all do. We don't sit around and complain. We just get it done. Okay? Imagine what that would do if you did not have an increased tax on overtime when you worked an extra 10 hours. Say you had a paycheck of $30 an hour, $20 an hour. Okay, well, that's an additional 10 hours at $200. So let's say it's $2,000. No, it's going to be time and a half. So you got to get like, what, 30 bucks. That's $3,000. That's actually $300. Excuse me, $300. And then you're going to have that, none of that tax like overtime, just normal. I mean, like that's significant. I mean, in my own life, in a previous life, I was a manager for 70 or 80 people for a large retail organization. It was heavily oriented to the left, one of the biggest corporations. There's a reason that I speak lefty, and that's why. I worked there for 10 years. When you look at the overtime that I personally did, I would have net several, if not tens of thousands of dollars at that point in my life if I did not have tax on overtime. It matters. It matters for your children. It matters for your spending. It matters for your single mothers. It matters for everybody. And if I didn't have tax on tips, if I ever worked in a gig economy, same thing. Guys, the amount of money that's about to be put back into the system is staggering. It is going to be staggering. And the wages and the discretionary income is going to reflect it. I just take Trump out of it. Objectively, it is going to do that. Here's a single mother. Watch. These are the things you feel. This is it. And I'm loving the emojis, the chats, the comments. Guys, please keep it coming and spread this out because I think we need a lot more of this in our commentary space versus the alternative. Let's keep going.
Who has lived in Pennsylvania for the past 20 years. And I've been a waitress all my life. Started when I was 15 years old. I've always enjoyed it and used to waitressing, made good money. But lately, my money doesn't mean to stretch that far. Pretty much everything I make goes towards paying the bills with taxes. These days, though, there's nothing in my paycheck. A lot of people don't realize this, but for servers, almost our entire income is from the tips we earn from satisfied customers. And you know, I'm sure there are a lot of people like me out there in this audience, and even more of you watching this, people who felt like they can't get up something sometimes, especially under the Biden administration.
All right. So one thing that's really important, and I think this is an important thing to say, kudos to that woman, because I don't think she's lying about being a waitress, but that was a very clearly uncomfortable thing for her. She clearly was not used to public speaking, and she had the entire thing written out, and she was reading it. But that was real. This is the whole point. And this is where I want to have a brief little synopsis on this. the people and the stories that are happening are real people, right? You can see them. They are tangible. And by the way, this is from the Trump conversation and Trump press rally, or big rally that he had in Pennsylvania, the one that I told you was going to happen Tuesday night. That happened tonight, okay? When you see all of these things with real people, it resonates. This is what I mean. You've got to feel it. You got to believe it. You got to be part of it. This is it. Bring people from the blue collar lifestyle. Bring people from the service industry. Bring people at the first responders who are all hard workers, who are all hard hours, and who are all highly respected, and let them tell their stories. Because this is how it's going to affect it. Because everyone in my chat right now, you guys are ripping on what the amount of tax-free for overtime is going to do for you. This is a universal norm. Right? And it's not coming out of the paychecks, or excuse me, out of the coffers of the business. It's coming out of the money that would go to the government. It is taking away from the government. That is a tax cut of epic proportions. And it's not even a cut. It's basically like preventing you even getting it, or them even getting it. It's no refund. No, you just aren't being taxed on working your butt off. But these are the things that are important. And you contrast that to the left. And this, I'm going to channel my best Rush Limbaugh right now. Again, I'm a Rush baby. I listened to it for like 20 years. Great dude. When you look at what real people are doing on the right side, and you're looking at all hypotheticals, upset and disdain on the left, why would you choose the upset, disdain, and the anger from the left when you have real people showing you what's really happening in your incredible country? One side is saying, I work my fingers to the bone, and it's just not stretching as far because of policies from the Biden administration. The other side is saying how evil America is, and how bad it is, and how progressive of a way, and resorting back to code switching down and up and down and up. Guys, this is a very simple binary choice. You can have the people who clearly have a problem with America, meritocracy, and the system that we have, hate capitalism, fully embrace socialism, and go down the road of communism. Or you can have someone who is literally showing you real-life examples of blue-collar, service industry, first responders who are genuinely making it work just like you do, just like I do. We all do. We are unified in that. Why would you go with somebody who's telling you are less than, everything you believe in is less than, everything you're a part of is less than, everything that is better, that is a blessing upon your God's green earth that you're even in this country to begin with, because you were born here under your lucky stars? That sucks. But then over here, it's like, hey, why don't we stop taking your money from you? It's like, God, I don't know. That's a real hard choice. I don't know. You guys can tell me if I channeled that right. Anyway, that's my little soapbox on that one. It's really important stuff. I'm very passionate about these things. All right. Whew, gotta reset. Can I get an amen on the chat on that one? All right, here we go. Taxes are gay. Oh, man. That's hilarious. All right, here we go. I'm going to shift a little bit. That one got that comment got me. Thank you, guys. When you guys make me laugh, it's like you get a little prize. All right. So this is Mike Lee. This is Senator Mike Lee. And it's all about undermining the whole power structure in D.C., okay? I got to read his super chat. Hold on. You guys are going to get me in trouble. Some of them I will read. Some of them I just have to filter. Super chat from Krillian. $10 says, just here to say taxes are gay. There you go. I said it. Okay. YouTube, they made me. Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, back to Mike Lee. He attended the Supreme Court arguments, and that's what I wanted to talk about real briefly. SCOTUS has the chance to overturn Humphrey's executor, which means that would basically restore presidential authority over the executive branch, freeing us from bureaucratic tyranny. Okay, I want you to hear what a sitting senator has to say about the bureaucratic tyranny, because the problems that are happening in D.C. are because of the bureaucratic morass that exists and the infrastructure that is required to keep it afloat. Watch Mike Lee. Let's get it.
I just finished watching arguments at the Supreme Court in a case involving the constitutionality of president's authority to fire executive branch bureaucrats. Now, Article 2 of the Constitution vests the president with the executive power and also the responsibility to execute the laws. When the president sees that the laws aren't being implemented consistent with what he deems appropriate, he should be able to fire them. And that's what the Constitution contemplates. There's a Supreme Court ruling from about 100 years ago called Humphrey's Executor. And Humphrey's executor says that the president can't fire those employees, especially if they're part of certain multi-member lawmaking and law enforcement commissions that are sort of a hybrid. The Supreme Court appears dissatisfied with that, and it looks like there are 5, probably 6 justices who are ready to strike down Humphrey's executor. It would be a good day for America and for the Constitution if they did that. Look forward to seeing how the court decides this in a few months.
Yeah, me too. And by the way, I'm just going to go ahead and say it for all my 2A people. Apparently, all the sucky rules came 100 years ago. Can I get an NFA needs to be abolished in the chat, please? Because 1934 was a good example of something that's similar to this and stupidity. Okay. All right, I feel good. I got that off my chest. Now we're going to keep on going. All right. Do I want to do this? I already kind of touched on this. I already did that in the video earlier. We're going to adjust on the fly. Hey, wait, hold on a sec. In the chat, how much trouble you guys want to get me into real quick? Because I'm like debating if I want to do this next slide or not. You guys just tell me how crazy we want to go, because I'm really like tempted to do it. All right, we got a super chat from Mitchell Ryan, $4.99. People also have to realize that if you're in a blue state, a lot of the no tax on tip stuff will be negated due to a Democrat tax policies. You know what, Mitchell, I have to say to that? Sucks to suck. I'm enjoying Florida. That's not a problem. Listen, you can vote with your feet, okay? The Electoral College has already shown that the census in 2030 is going to suck for anybody who didn't go with that. So, continue. Do it, they say. Okay, I got one, do it. So now I gotta. Guys, I tell you what, if this is not a landmine, I don't know what is. I might do a video separate on this. I might not. We're getting towards the end of the stream, so it's getting a little wily. Oh, my goodness gracious. Jim Clyburn. Michelle Obama is absolutely correct that America is not ready for a woman president. Ooh. Anybody know who Jim Clyburn is? I'll tell you. He's the minority whip of the Democrat Party. He's like number 3 in command out of South Carolina. He's the one that pretty much put Biden in the White House. He just said women aren't ready for presidency. I'm pretty sure that's like blasphemy. But, you know, I had to click on that article because I just had an inkling that something was amiss and was going to be fun. And it is. It absolutely is. Let me open this up real quick. Again, he said it. I didn't say it. It's very rude. It's very, very insensitive. Super chat for Krillian. What's a 7-day suspension for the lulls? I don't want to do that. I don't want to. Nope. Don't get on the naughty list. All right, listen. I got to show you something here. We're about to introduce a term to you guys. It's called suicidal empathy. It's my term. I love it. This is what it's about. Representative Jim Clyburn, Democrat, South Carolina. Democrats hate women? Said Sunday he agrees with Michelle Obama that the U.S. is not yet ready for a woman president, but he's still going to intend to support women candidates. Y'all, this is why we win. This is why we're going to win. The guy literally just said, no frills about it. Head of the Democrat Party, the nation's not ready for a woman president. Women president are going to lose. Michelle Obama said they're going to lose. I agree with Michelle Obama. I'm still going to vote for and nominate that women candidates because it's what I want. It's not reality. It conflicts with everything what I just said, but I'm going to do it anyway. Suicidal empathy is a simple term. My virtue signals are more important than reality that I openly just said, so therefore I'm going to go with my emotions and virtue signal to the guaranteed loss, but at least I was true to my virtue signal while I still lose to reality. Suicidal empathy would be something like, yeah, you can fill in the blanks, a chicken inviting the Colonel Sanders over for dinner, or a sheep having dinner with 2 wolves. But it would be so rude to decline the invitation. Yes, it would. That's called suicidal empathy. It's kind of like half of the contingent on the left that was perfectly fine with, can't do that one. Can't do that one. That was going to be fun, but I couldn't do that one. See if I have anything else. Oh, look, I do. Skirt. All right, here we go. Clyburn, an ardent supporter of Harris's presidential campaign, said, I understand exactly what Kamala Harris has said, adding he spoke with the former vice president last week. Of course he did. Michelle Obama is absolutely correct. If you look at the history, we demonstrated that we are not ready. He said during an interview on NBC's Meet the Press, these are incredible women who have run. Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, and I think we are getting there. Still, Clyburn said he hopes for more women candidates to run and that he intended to support them, despite disappointing results in recent presidential elections. If these people said this on my side of the aisle, I would lose my collective minds. All of them. I've got like 3, apparently. I mean, I would lose my mind if one of my leaders in my party said that. Yep, we lost. Yep, no one likes them. Yep, we're not ready. I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. Jim, I support you. I support you. I support Jasmine Crockett. I love absolutely everything about Jasmine Crockett running for primary and Democrat. It's going to be the greatest, most revolutionary thing I've ever seen. I can't wait for her to animate millions of voters that have never voted before in their lives. I can't wait for the big blue wave that's coming in Texas. I really can't wait to see what happens with the Trump approval numbers and the Republican approval numbers, which are kind of doing a U-ey. Can't wait to see the whole affordability thing box in and collapse on the Democrats' very heads. There's a lot of things I can't wait for, but you know what's one I can't wait for tomorrow? Listen, that outro was next level. I love each and every one of you, just the right amount that makes you feel comfortable. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for having fun. Give me a little leeway to have some fun.